appointing someone else who is on a bit of a hiding to nothing. Now, managers, as we've said before, are lucky nowadays. They're not sweating on losing their job because they won't
No.
have enough money to live on. I mean, they're multimillionaires, these guys from the Premier League, and it's
Yeah,
kind of a bit of a revolving door sometimes for some of
it
them. They keep
is.
getting new jobs
Yeah.
and they make a lot of money when they're sacked. Um, but so it's not that side of it. But of course, being a manager, it must dent your pride to be sacked. And Sean Dyche won't want to be sacked. He'll only want to achieve and get them winning games again. But if
Mm.
he doesn't, he's going to start to feel the pressure. And everyone knows that the owner can fire someone at the drop of a hat. You know,
Yeah.
such that the crowd, I think, the crowd when Ange Postecoglou was sacked,
Yeah.
the opposition fans were singing "You're going to get sacked in the morning." Well, they say now in future people are going to be singing "You're going to get sacked in a
It's
minute"
like in a
because
minute,
he was
yeah.
sacked at the end of the game, wasn't he?
It was, yeah.
So he's brought a whole new dimension into it, the Greek owner. But
Yeah.
let's hope that Sean Dyche does his business and is successful there. I think his positive attitude stands him in good stead. He's a confident man, and I don't think he would tolerate any nonsense from any owner. He will put
No.
his position and say, if you don't like me, sack me then, and give me some money for doing so. But
Yeah.
I hope he succeeds. I do.
I hope so. I hope because Nottingham Forest last season where they were on fire. They
They
were
were great,
really
weren't they?
they were flying high.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway. Right. Okay. So Crystal Palace.
yeah,
I was becoming a huge fan of Crystal Palace winning. What's happened?
yeah. It's a difficult one. Obviously, we lost at Arsenal on Sunday. I think it was Sunday, 1-0. Which actually, given that Arsenal are the best team in the land at the
They
moment,
are. They
you'd
are.
have to say 1-0 is not a bad scoreline. And
No.
sadly, it was basically because of a foul unnecessarily given away by Pino, um, Jeremy Pino,
Jeremy
who
Pino,
was
yeah.
bought in a sense to replace Eze, who scored Arsenal's goal. I don't know whether you saw the goal. It was a
I did. I did. It
very
was a
good
very good
volley,
goal. Yeah.
very good goal. And
Yeah.
that's what you get with someone like Eze. That's why they paid whatever they paid for him, about 70, 75 million. Because he might, in some games, he might be quite quiet. He does his business. If he gets the ball, he'll beat a few players. But
Mm.
what he's got that electric turn of pace and that talent, that ability to conjure something out of nothing, like he did in the cup final. He scored
Mm.
that great goal right against the run of play. But that goal the other day, I mean, he had to really adjust his whole body to keep the
Yeah.
ball down when he volleyed it in. It was an excellent goal, and as I say, that's what
Was.
that's what you pay for. As for poor Pino, who started off a few weeks ago in his first game or two very well, potentially, we thought, well, he's a good player here. He knows his stuff, but he's gradually gone down a bit. Perhaps his confidence. He's probably trying too hard, and he
Mm.
gave away unnecessarily a free kick in his own half when it was still 0-0, obviously, and then they scored from that free kick. And I think Oliver Glasner said he didn't blame him, but he said it was unnecessary to give away a foul there. But it was interesting afterwards in the press conference that Glasner had a little bit of a not so veiled go at the owners at Parish and Co. Because before the last couple of transfer windows, he's made it clear he wants to get the players in, and he says he's identified they need this player, that player in certain positions early on. So to give them a chance to, particularly after the summer window, to work with the team before the new season, stuff like that. But Pino, and he made a point of saying this, was actually bought on the last day of the transfer window. So he had no chance to acclimatise to the Premier League, which of
Mm.
course had already started, been going for 3 or 4 weeks until the end
Mm.
of August, early September. And
Mm.
he said, although it was an unnecessary foul he gave away, he said he started off so well. But he said, a bit like another of our players, Kamada, who played for Glasner and another club somewhere, I think in Germany.
Mm.
So he always liked Kamada. But the first few months last season, the crowd, I don't think we get on people's backs, but there was a bit of a groan when he came on as a sub or whatever, because he wasn't getting up to the speed, of the Premier League. It's a very fast league, and
Mm.
he showed a few signs of promise, but he wasn't welcomed. Frankly, towards the end of last season and the cup final where he came on, and this season he's a different player. He's found his feet. He's respected, and people now say, "Oh, I hope we start with him and not someone else, perhaps like Hughes, who is also a good player." Because
Mm.
Kamada does his stuff, and basically, Oliver was saying that Pino, he wasn't given any chance to acclimatise to this very fast league. He said Kamada had the same problem. He said, but look at him now. Um, he said, but and anyway, the point was he was obviously having a dig. He said, "I have asked before. We have to get players in early on in the transfer window, and the last two has not happened. They're always late. Palace always seem to be late on, whether that's to try and get a cheaper price and then you miss out on somebody, and all the shimozu about Mark Gay, who he had a medical at Liverpool. He'd gone up there, really
Mm.
about to sign." And then on the last day, Palace weren't able to get a replacement for him, who they had lined up, but it didn't work. And Steve Parish said to Glasner, "Look, can we still? You happy for Mark to go?" He said, "No, I've not got that replacement. He mustn't go." And I
Mm.
think Parish knew if he let Mark Gay go, he would have lost Glasner as well. So there's a little bit of. I'm not saying there's a big deal going on between them, but Glasner's not afraid to make his position clear, and why would he be? I mean, his
Mm.
currency as a manager is through the roof, isn't it? Other clubs around the world know that if he ever gets dissatisfied at Palace, which will happen at some stage, he'll want to go on to something bigger and better, I suppose.
Mm.
Then he's going to be the first choice of lots of clubs who are seeking a new manager. So yeah, why are Palace not performing so much? I don't know. I don't think you can get rid of one of your best players like Eze, who was instrumental in both the FA Cup win and the Community Shield win, without an effect on the team. Okay, it's not a one-man team, but we know Mark Gay is going to go, and people are very